So I had a miscarriage on April 9th, and it was a very traumatic experience.
What kind of tea do you want? Magic tea or Toshi tea?
Toshi tea.
Same.
Magic tea.
Magic tea. Okay.
And
This.
the doctor and
Coming
the nurse
right
at the hospital were very negligent and unknowing about what was going on with me. They didn't realize that I lost so much blood. They were sending me home when I was about to pass out. And they wouldn't let Bruno come to the hospital because he was watching Maya, and they said they wouldn't allow minors in the ER. So I got them to call my friend Rebecca, and I said it was my aunt because of the coronavirus, because I knew they wouldn't let her in if she was just a friend. And thank God that she came, because if she wasn't there,
I made them so we have to start over again.
Okay, super. If she didn't come, I probably would have died, because I was like about to pass out and they were nowhere to be seen. I had to have her go get the nurse and the doctor. Then they put me on oxygen.
Help, babies!
And they realized that I needed a blood transfusion.
Help, babies! Don't tell you. We have to wear gloves. What kind of tea do you want? Tea?
Grandma Titi? Well, maybe we won't use...
No! A tea that has tea in it.
Oh, a tea that has tea in it.
Maybe if you could quickly go over a lot of the benefits that steaming could do.
Yeah, so steaming, I mean, it definitely depends on the person, but like some people use steaming for like regulation of their cycle. Some people use it because they have really difficult menstrual cycles, so like heavy cramping, bleeding, etc. Some people use it because they just want like a sort of detox or cleaning of their body, either physically or emotionally or energetically or all of the different things. Some people use it because they have like fibroids or some other sort of thing that is happening. Some people use it for ceremonies, you know, like it's just a part of their like ceremonial practice. Some people use it for like sexual health, like they feel like it helps their sexual life. So there's all sorts of different reasons why people use it. I personally think that the herbs are the most important part. Like if you don't have a good blend of herbs, then it doesn't really matter what you're doing.
So what are the herbs that we're cooking here?
Yeah, so one is a tea, and that one is nettle, alfalfa, and chamomile.
Oh, okay.
And that's just to help support you during this session that we're going to do. And then the herbs for the steam, I use these yoni steam herbs from Roots, Heart, and Mind, someone that I work for. I mean, they're different blends, but this one specifically has nettle, red raspberry, lemon balm, rose, Chinese mugwort, rosemary, lavender, calendula, and tangerine peel. So this one I find is really good for like folks who need to regulate their cycle or you know have had any sort of issues similar to what you've experienced.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a steam today, and then I'm gonna leave you some so that you can do it, you know, over the next few days.
Oh, okay.
And then we're gonna do some body work. So we're gonna try to like, you know, see where your uterus is at and sort of just what's happening. And then we'll kind of gauge what else you need today. I don't want to do like too intensive of a session because it's already probably going to be a little intense.
Oh, okay. How many sessions are there?
It just depends on how many you need. Sometimes people are good with one.
Oh, okay.
You know, and then like the continued like use of the herbs that I leave. And then other people need more. It just depends. And the way that I like to think of herbs and that I've learned from my elders is that they're like our allies. So they like help support us. They walk with us. And, you know, like they sort of collaborate with us, if that makes sense, right?
Uh-huh.
So like, you know, working with herbs is like a very physical thing, but also like a very emotional and spiritual thing too, potentially, you know.
Yeah.
So
So
we're gonna
it'll help
see,
me heal emotionally too.
hopefully.
So that's what you also take that into
Yeah,
account.
absolutely. That's why I like when we talked last time, I was like, okay, we don't want to do too intensive of a session because heat and plants and, you know, like all of these things, they can extract a lot of things from our body, but also a lot of things can come up. So, you know, if you find yourself at any point like feeling very emotional, crying, allow yourself to like release those things.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So we are gonna start. So actually, let me check on the.
Oh yeah. I'm actually gonna do a session. I mean, I'm gonna sit on it and everything. Oh.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just thought you were gonna show me. I didn't know I was gonna actually do it.
Oh.
So is that a tea?
Yeah. So this one is for the tea, and usually I just bring a strainer. Some people like to drink it with the herbs in. Doesn't really matter.
Oh, okay. I also have a teapot thing with the string.
I know. I just saw. Well, I saw that you have the kettle too.
Oh yeah.
Um,
That's okay. Doesn't matter.
This is the. Do you have a lid for this one?
Oh yeah, I could get something.
Okay, so we're just gonna.
I guess he's not taking her to get the haircut.
Alright, so I'm gonna have you lay on a couch and just get comfortable.
Okay.
Do you want me to wear gloves or are you okay with my hands?
I'm okay.
Okay. So I'm using this oil. It's basically a wound healing oil.
Wound healing.
And so basically what it's gonna help is, you know, just activate anything that needs to be released in that area. I mean, we carry a lot in our stomach, in our abdomen area, all the different organs that are there, but also our uterus, obviously. And so it is a little dark,
What does that mean?
like the
The
oils,
color?
yeah, the color. So not like, you know, it's not dark. It's like a dark color, but it doesn't stain. So first I'm just gonna feel for where your organs are at. Just kind of get a sense of what's happening. It feels like your uterus is a little tilted.
Oh really? So that's not normal.
It's not about normal, it's just that ideally we want it to be very centered. Right now it's a little bit more to your right.
Yeah.
And so that can definitely, you know, we just kind of want to guide it into the right direction and support it, which is steam can help, but also some body work.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to need more than one session.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very chilly.
So it's called Yomi? Is that its type of massage?
This is just I just call this body work. Some people, like, it depends on what cultural practice you use. So, like, you know, a lot of traditional Mexican practitioners will call it like a sobada. Traditional, like Thai, we'll call it something different. So you might feel like, yeah, that's okay. It's super normal. We actually want that.
So if my uterus is tilted, is that bad? I mean, what are the effects?
It could cause issues with like conception. It could make your cycle more irregular, and it also can make it heavier. Right? So like it's more painful or just like uncomfortable. Sometimes people have no issue and it's fine. But generally, you know, we just want things to be aligned in our body in the same way that we want, you know, all the things to be aligned, right? And so, and just in the right place. Because a lot of times what happens during like previous pregnancies is that depending on like what our body was doing, especially since we do labor intensive things, you know, like all of those things can definitely shift.
But I haven't been working because you said I should wait. I didn't go back to work yet. You're gonna film me, Maya?
I'm gonna put it in here.
Your uterus is actually very malleable.
Hi, Mama. Hi. You're the beautifulest one in the world. Ever done.
Ever again?
Yeah.
So nobody else will ever be as beautiful as me?
No.
Oh, thank you, Maya.
I am more beautiful than you.
She just said I'm the most beautiful.
You turned out the beautiful.
I took all the beautiful?
Yeah, you turned out the beautiful when you sound. Hi, Mommy, you are the best mommy in the world ever done.
Oh, thank you, Maya.
There's a baby in there.
There is?
Yeah,
Are you sure, Maya?
yeah. And so there was remember twins.
Twins, wow.
Wow.
But the doctor told me I wasn't having twins, Maya. When I was pregnant, they said I was just having a girl, but you said I was still having twins. I wonder if that's possible.
It definitely is.
Yeah, because they were only doing based on a blood test.
Oh, Mommy, you are the ever done.
I'm the girl ever again?
Yeah. You are the dwarf, and I'm a dwarf, and I's the boy ever done.
Thank you.
You took all the boys.
He took all the boys,
Yeah.
You're so sweet.
You took all the dwarves.
and,
Mama,
and you took all the babies.
I took all the
I'm
babies.
gonna do something called body reading.
I want the baby. I want
So
the baby.
basically what happens is, you know, all of our systems, like our central nervous system, et cetera, they all go throughout our bodies, right? They all are connected. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna
Mommy,
put my
all
hands
the babies
underneath
go.
your sort of sacrum area, and then I'm just gonna leave them there, and we're just gonna kind of see what's happening. So I'm gonna have you lift up a little bit so I can put my
Mama,
hands underneath.
you are. I'm touching you.
So when we do body
It's
reading,
going
essentially
in.
what we're doing is we're feeling that movement, we're feeling that energy, and just sort of seeing where there's like stagnation, if there's any stagnation, and just sort of trying to like on an energetic level, for lack of better explanation, see what is happening in this particular area of your body.
So you could feel the movement of,
Yeah.
of the energy. If there's like no movement, you could tell.
So when there's a lot of movement, generally what that means is it could be that you're carrying a lot in that area, which is very likely.
Carrying a lot?
Like generational, like we carry like generational trauma. Basically we want to regulate your system, right? So right now, or for a lot of people, we're always in like fight or flight mode. Or we're carrying a lot of like grief, we're carrying a lot of, you know, external things, we're carrying a lot of heavy emotions, etc. And so doing a body reading can be very helpful to know.
What was that? Oh, okay.
Can just be very helpful.
Huh.
Do you feel like since your last pregnancy that you've like had any stomach issues, any like constipation or just upset stomach or like
Upset stomach? No. I just, in the beginning, I told you like, I was having like these really bad cramps in the beginning. I don't know if you remember, I told you that during the Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
But that didn't last for too long. And I just felt like for a while I felt like there wasn't anything in there, like it
Yeah.
felt, I kind of felt like I'm lacking.
Yeah.
I couldn't feel like my uterus was there, you know, or something was missing. I didn't know what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your cycle has been very like off, right? Like very.
Yeah.
Like,
Before I got pregnant,
Yeah.
it was coming like every 2 or 3 weeks. It wasn't coming normally. My
Mhm.
normal cycle is like every 30 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now is it the same?
I only got one period so
Yeah.
far. And it came like about a month after I had the
Yeah.
miscarriage. So I'm still waiting for my next period, so it should be like a week away.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I'm probably pretty normal right now because I haven't got my period yet.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign.
That is a good sign, yeah.
Unless I am pregnant already. But yeah, I just felt like after I had the miscarriage, like I kind of felt like my only reason for living is to have another baby. So since I almost died in the hospital, I was
Yeah.
like, why am I still here, you know? It almost feels like you're like reborn after you come out of that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Very much so.
That was the closest I've ever come to dying. Because I like almost passed out twice in the hospital.
Yeah.
Hello to Mama.
Have you had that kind of experience?
I have, yeah.
Hello, Mama.
Hi, Maya.
I want to have you take 3 deep breaths. And now slowly release them.
Here's Daddy. Here's Daddy.
So did you notice like a lot of energy?
You have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Like a lot. And so, you know, just some more. I think the steaming will definitely help.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So like too much energy could be bad.
It could be, you know, it's just a lot. When we have a lot going on, it can either cause stagnation in our body,
Yeah.
particularly in our uterus, right? Or it can cause like feelings of like there's devoid, like emptiness, you know, and we kind of just want like alignment in our body. We want to feel like our full self,
Yeah.
right? And so some people, they're like, who have uteruses, they're like, I don't care about this thing. I don't want to feel anything. And so feeling nothing is good. For other people, like yourself, you know, especially as you're talking about you feeling like your purpose is pregnancy, this next pregnancy, like we want to feel full. We want to feel whole. And so when there's a lot of energy, it can just disrupt things. So hopefully like the heat and the herbs will sort of, you know, support you. What I normally suggest, and this is going to be based off of your own comfort, is while you're steaming, not trying to become pregnant.
Oh, okay.
Just because adding more energy
Yeah.
can like, you know, get distracted in that disruption that's already happening.
Okay.
But some people are like, no, it's a good time. It feels like a good time. So follow your own intuition.
Oh, okay.
I'm all about people doing what feels good to them. I'm just a vessel that, you know, like
Yeah.
is supporting in whatever way that you need.
Oh, okay.
So that's, you know, where I kind of,
Yeah.
so we're going to do the steam right now, but what you can do after is if you have, I use this clay thing, but you can use you can use clay or you can use, some people use like a pot, whatever feels good. And
Okay.
basically all you're going to do, because you don't, you know, you're not going to have a stool, is that you can put it inside of the toilet,
Okay.
just in the toilet regularly, and then just sit over the toilet.
Oh, okay.
So that's
You
what I,
have the little seat like for Maya to sit on the
oh
toilet.
yeah, you can use
That might
that.
work.
you know, usually like when I have too much stuff, I'll just take my pot and then put it in the person's toilet. Obviously, I clean it, but
Yeah.
and then you just put like a sheet or a towel over you because you want to feel that warmth, right?
Yeah.
Like sweating and all of that is really, it's like medicine, sort of. So we want to, you know, support that.
Okay.
So usually I do like 10 to 30 minutes. I think for you, we're going to do 20 minutes today because we don't want it to be too intense, but also I think that, you know, from all this body work, that you need a little extra support. So we'll do 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
If you have like a sheet or a towel that you can cover
Yeah.
yourself, that would be good. And I'm going to put
Okay.
the thing in here. After we do this,
Yeah.
you want to make sure that you're staying hydrated,
Okay.
like super hydrated. You might feel a little bit more tired.
Yeah.
That's super normal, to be expected.
Oh, mommy.
Now I just sit down?
Yeah, so you want to basically have like your butt and
Okay.
vagina over here,
Okay.
and then
Mama, can I see?
over as much as you can. You need
More?
something bigger.
Oh, big.
I drink some tea.
It's yummy, right? How far does it have to go?
So then I
Because
stretch my mouth like this.
we want the steam to stay in that area, so
Like this.
That tea's supposed to be for me, Maya.
Do you think any of these are big enough? Or,
yeah, we could put one behind you.
that's okay.
Run.
Make it a little warm though.
So is it already hot now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to feel it.
I'm starting to feel
Is it
the
bearable?
bubbles.
Yeah. It's very subtle right now, anyway. So, like, let's say that I was pregnant, this wouldn't damage anything, right?
A lot of people steam during pregnancy. It's just a matter of preference.
Oh, okay.
Some people are comfortable with it, others aren't.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people who steam throughout pregnancy.
What does it help with for pregnancy?
Just like so a lot of people steam for the uterus to like either be toned, or just like any cleansing that needs to happen. Some people do it just for their like spiritual or ceremonial practice. It really depends on the person. And also the herbs. Like these herbs are very light, so you know they're just kind of like holding herbs, right? So they're like supporting your uterus
Oh,
in your
okay.
body. Some people use really, really intense herbs, and they're trying to, you know, basically do a
Play on you.
full-on
Mine.
body cleanse.
What?
Don't do that now. Don't play with mommy. She's doing
Yeah.
it thirsty.
So it's like a
Daddy,
detox?
I want to go.
Yeah, some people will do it
My
during
hair
detox
cut.
time.
You want to go now?
This is not a detox.
Okay. We'll go.
I think a lot of times detox herbs are very brutal.
Yeah.
So that's not usually my first go-to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Have you done any body work before, or like do you see an acupuncturist, chiropractor, anything like that?
I had seen the chiropractor when I was pregnant last time.
Mhm.
That was the only time I did.
Oh, okay.
But that seemed to help with the delivery, because it felt like I wasn't really having a lot of pain, like in my pre-labor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like that was from that. But I didn't have that much work. Like what they recommended was that I had the body work done like, I guess like once a week or something.
Yeah.
Closer to when I was due, they wanted me to do it more frequently.
Mhm.
But I didn't do it that often because it was far away, the place that I was going to. It was in Arcadia, that's where I gave birth. But,
And you were living here?
yeah, we were living here.
That's far.
Yeah, we got that birth center because that was the only one at the time that accepted Medicaid.
Yeah, it is.
But I hear there's another
Yeah,
one.
there's another one.
Yeah. I found out about the Kindred Space LA, so that's what I was gonna go with for this pregnancy. That's how I found the Victoria Project, and that's how I found you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just living in this world and functioning in a society, like, we tend to be sponges
Yeah.
to, like, so much that is happening. You know, like, even in the work that you do, right? Like, understanding the effects that a lot of these different things have on our bodies and stuff.
Yeah.
And so body work can be very helpful to, like, clear some of that energy, you know?
Yeah. So the body work is like what you did on me, that was massaging.
Yeah, I mean, there's all types of body work. Like, some people, I'm a fan of, like, everything I do being very non-invasive, like being very supportive and not, like, overwhelming, because I think it can be a shock to, like, our bodies.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of body work. Like, there's the more, not traditional, but more common known ones, like chiropractor, acupuncturist, you know, like massage therapists. And then there's, like, more traditional practices.
Yeah.
So it really just depends, but, you know, like, once you find something that you feel like feels good to you, and not just in the moment, but also after.
Okay.
But just like how your heart feels, like, do you feel like, you know, it felt good, or if it didn't? And so kind of listening to that intuition of, like,
Yeah.
this is something my body and my spirit or whatever really enjoyed and really felt like was good
Yeah.
for it.
I feel like something's like poking my butt. I don't know.
Probably the seat, yeah, it's not the one. That's why a lot of people prefer the toilet, just because they're used to sitting on it.
Oh. Is there something pokey in there?
It might be the strap, because it comes off so that I can clean it, so it might just be. Yeah, you can actually start getting up now.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's been about time.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
How are you feeling?
It feels good.
Good.
Sweaty.
Yeah. So there's a lot in the pot still,
Oh, yeah.
so you can use it tomorrow. I would only do it one
Okay.
time a day.
So I can reuse that pot?
Yeah, you can use,
Okay.
and then there's a packet that has the herbs. You can take that packet out and put it in the refrigerator,
Oh.
and then you can keep boiling more with it.
Okay.
But the liquid that's in there now, you can use it for tomorrow. You just heat it up on the stove.
Okay, so you just put it right into the pot.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty easy.
Yeah. It's very, try to be as user friendly as possible.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that.
And definitely try to not, you know,
I want
don't go
some
for a run or something.
Please.
Like afterward.
I don't know
Okay.
if you do those things, but I always like to give the warning.
Yeah.
And if you feel like lightheaded at all, drink, you know,
Yeah.
means hydrate, eat something.
Okay.
No, you were saying no, my
Oh shit. Okay.
You know, like the normal things, because it's hot. It's hot, so it's a lot for your body. That's cool, huh? It looks like a little spider now. One of the other things is you might, very rarely, but sometimes people do have light spotting.
Okay.
Super,
Normal.
yeah, because it's cleaning out. Because, you know, a lot of times when we have our cycle or mid-cycle or whenever, like,
Where's this
we have a lot
booty,
of old
Mama?
blood.
Yeah, what?
Like a lot of old blood.
Mama, where's
So,
this
like,
booty?
Oh,
but,
that's a marble.
you know, you might,
No,
you
where's
might
that booty inside it?
I don't know, Maya.
See, it's
You have
called
to
a
break it open.
swirl.
Oh, it's called a swirl.
Do you have any questions?
Do you have any questions, please?
Yeah, I guess. So do people do this continuously for long times, or is it something you do a few times? and
Yeah, it depends. So I don't think you're gonna have to do it long term. Yeah, you should do it with what you have left for the
Okay.
herbs. And then we can check in after your next cycle to see like what it looks like.
And I should do like every day?
Until your next cycle.
Okay.
And then once your bleeding starts, you stop.
And I just put the pot, you said I could put a pot in the toilet? Or I can just, like I have the thing for children to sit on. Can I just put that on?
Yeah, you could totally do that.
What do I do, like put that on top of a pot?
I mean, if it could work like that. Some people like for me, cause I still I steam sometimes. I actually just
Hover.
Yeah, like hover over it, cause that's what feels comfortable for me. So when you're bleeding, you should stop, like full on blood.
You mean for my period?
Yeah, for your period. Yeah. And then we kind of see what happens from there. You might need more body work. And then we can kind of gauge it based off of what your cycle looks like this next time around, if it comes.
Yeah.
When I became pregnant with my now 6-year-old, I was really.
Mama, where's the thing inside?
Yeah, I got really involved with like herbs and plants, and just trying to like.
You got involved with what?
Like herbs and plants, and just like that community of like herbalists and healers, and just wanted to be more healthy.
Yeah.
And like reconnect to like a lot of stuff that I had lost.
Were you already a doula back then?
I was not. Yeah, that's how I became a doula. I ended up finding a doula training. But like when you are on your path and things just start happening, like that's kind of what happened for me. When I started working with herbs, I do it on me first, or like people in my life. That way I can know if it's like works, if it's like something that I would use. So I was doing that for the first few years, and even still now I do. And then I found steaming because, a lot of people who work with herbs steam, and a lot of people who are doulas or birth workers also steam. And so, I just started learning, I started doing it, and a lot of guidance from like herbalists and elders and birth workers, just to make sure that I'm doing it in a good way, in a responsible way.
Yeah. So you're saying like you're a doula, but you don't always do steaming, like you just see if the person would be into it.
Yeah, I'm not someone who like pushes anything on anybody. Like, how I was explaining to you, with any sort of body work, you want to make sure it feels good for you. Like during, but also after. After is the most important. Because after is when like, when we see the effects, potential effects. And so I'm very like, we want people to do the things that are going to work for them and not feel good. So if someone's like, I don't want to steam, then I'm like, okay. And we try something else if they want to.
Yeah.
So it just depends. And then if someone has an issue that I'm like, steaming will be really helpful, then I might encourage them. But we'll have like an open conversation,
Yeah.
But I don't do it with all of my clients at all.
So like what feedback do you get?
So when I work with like fertility, like people who are trying to get pregnant, people love steaming. They're like, I did IVF, I did all these things. And it's steaming, IVF, like in vitro fertilization.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, or, did whatever. And steaming and just herbs in general, like teas and that sort of thing, like really help them. And then other people, they're like, they don't do it consistently. So that's part of the problem too. Like if you just have one session and then you're like, everything's gonna work now, you're more likely not gonna get any results, So that's why I always leave some for the person to do it.
Okay.
But sometimes people have their own block, like they're just like, I don't really know, or whatever. And so that's why I say that herbs are allies, because we also have to do the work too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many like different choices of herbs are there?
So usually I bring the herbs after I talk. So we had the call, and so I was like, okay, this is these are probably the herbs that she's gonna need. But there's a never-ending blend of herbs that you can use. Sometimes what I do, if I'll have one session and then I'll check in after, a day or two after, and they're like, oh well, you know, it made this happen, or I was feeling this way, then I might just change one little herb or one amount, you know. So that's the way that herbalism sort of works, right? Like you use things that are like, tried and tested and true, but also like experimenting in a responsible way.
And then you have to like write everything down so you know how much
Yeah.
you use.
Yeah, I'm very diligent.
So you're like a scientist.
About all those things, you know, because like then you want to be able to recreate it, right? Like if you're like, oh, this person had this issue, if I meet someone else who has a similar issue, I might use a similar blend. But I also like not even just for the physical part, but also the emotional part. So if someone is going through a lot of grief, I might use very different herbs. Because some herbs are very helpful for like grief and sadness than maybe others. So like, you know, there's a lot behind it. And some people don't go that deep into it who do vaginal steaming. And that's okay too, like whatever works for them. That's just the way I practice. Because I think, you know, like, I don't think plants or herbs are just something that we use. I think that they're like, you know, like kind of like ancestors, or I don't know.
Yeah.
For lack, they're like ancestors. They're something that we should respect and that we should work with in a good way. So I always try to build that like relationship. A lot of people like just look on YouTube. And it's just like, you know, like that's fine to like learn and see it off of YouTube or off of someone's blog or whatever, but like, you know, we want to be safe while we're doing it too.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where I'm always like a little bit concerned.
Oh, okay. Like people could burn themselves or something.
Yeah, or just like little things that are like might be common sense to me, might not be. Like sometimes I hear people who steam for like 2 hours.
And that's too
I'm
long.
like, that's very long. You're gonna pass out. You know, your blood sugars. You know, like there are things like that where I'm like,
Daddy, take some
I
apples.
wanna.
Take some apples and I will
If you
steal
can work
some
with someone,
apples.
that's great. If you can't, then
No, Daddy.
Do they have like penis
Steal
steaming or
apples.
something?
there is, yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe I should
Anybody can do a steam. Because there's, you know, the heat and the herbs together help your body. Like they help extract a lot of things. So like the sweat is important. But yeah, I know a lot of people who steam who have penises.
Is it similar herbs?
It can be, yeah. Sometimes it's different. It just depends. But usually I use the same herbs.
Oh really? So I could try it with her.
You can, yeah. No, yeah, you can. I use very similar herbs. And it just depends on the person's comfort. Usually for people with penises, they do it for a shorter amount of time. So like, I wouldn't do more than like 10 minutes.
Okay.
But, you know, everyone has their own different way of practicing.
But that wouldn't make him more fertile, would it?
No. It's just more of like a cleansing sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But a lot of people find it very helpful. And also like the energetic thing too, right? Like releasing.
Yeah.
Because people with penises have blockages too, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
People are always shocked about like, I'm like, you'd be surprised at the benefits.
All right. Anyway, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
Thank you.
So, today is June 2nd, 2021, and I had my first visit with the doula who is doing steaming with me.
Help me.
She's doing vaginal steaming. So she came to our
Help
house
me, no.
and she made us tea and she
No, Mama, put it in here.
She cooked the herbs and I sat on the pot for 20 minutes, give or take. And then it feels relaxing and
But
calming.
don't put it in there.
I feel relaxed now, and she said to drink a lot of water. I did feel a little dehydrated afterwards. And a little warm.
It's sleeping from here.
Okay,
Now
it's kind of like putting your butt in a sauna. That's how it felt, but it wasn't very strong. It was
Now
very
get
mild.
this.
Maya, I'm on camera. I'm trying to interview myself. And how did you enjoy the steaming process, Maya? What did you learn?
And snapping.
So, yeah, so down there it just feels like cleaner and more moist right now.
Actually,
And
Mama,
then she
Mama.
did this work on my
Ow,
stomach.
ow!
She massaged my stomach.
And we did that.
Where do you want to put it?
Okay.
Okay. She said my uterus was tilted, but she said it was also very malleable, so it's easy for her to move it around. And she said I was carrying like a lot of baggage because of like emotional stuff. I'm carrying a lot of baggage in my back or something. So the body work, like I guess it kind of lightened me up and made me not have as much baggage. And so I feel good now. And then eventually, after I get my cycle, I have to call her and we'll do another session. But she said I should do steaming every day until my cycle starts. So when my cycle starts, I'm not supposed to steam. But it's supposed to make me more regular on my period. It's supposed to make me more fertile, which is what I want because I just had a miscarriage.
I'm the teenager when I'm thirsty.
Yeah.
What kind of tea do you want, babies?
What kind of tea, Maya? Maya's
Okay,
tea.
magic tea. One here.
Maya,
I see
calm
put
down.
all of it in there.